Out 6 to 8 weeks is Austin Riley. Who in the hell is actually healthy? Well, Matt Olson, Marcelo Zuna, those are about the only two. Everybody else has been pretty much banged up the entire time. It's all brought to you by plainscoffee.com. Go over there and enter the promo code Braves. Get your 10% off. I am Ben Taylor as we take a look at basically the downs of what the Braves are going through right now. Now, there is a good spot. There is a bright spot as the Braves have picked up Gio Urshela, who will come in and play for the Braves as early as tonight. Yes, in game one, expected to arrive on the scene and be in Atlanta to take on the Phillies in the first game of the series. Hey, congratulations. Welcome to Atlanta. Who do you get to face? Wheeler for the Phillies. And we're in a pennant race, and we're also in a wild card race. Thanks for joining us. And by the way, you've got big shoes to fill with Austin Riley. Riley out 6 to 8 weeks with that signing of Gio Urshela, released by Detroit, actually the same day that Riley got hurt a couple of days ago, taking place on Sunday. Now, Riley took a 97 mile per hour, some have said sinker, some have said fastball. Anyway, it hit the right hand. There is some minor damage as far as a fracture is concerned. They say 6 to 8 weeks. I don't even know if he comes back unless the Braves make the playoffs. So this could be a season-ending injury. Urshela is 32 years of age, 243, 286, 333. That's a slash line with 10 doubles. He does have 5 home runs on the year. However, again, he was released on Sunday. So that just lets you know what you're getting out of him. He was on a 1-year deal anyway, $1.5 million deal that he signed with the Tigers. So the Braves will owe him just a little bit of that money as far as this season is concerned. Riley placed on that 10-day IL, and that will open up a spot on the 40-man roster for Urshela, as well as the Braves transferring reliever A.J. Minter. He's going to head to the 60-day IL, confirming that we already thought was going to happen, which is that hip is in really bad shape. And so we doubt we are able to see him the rest of the year, and he's going to be done. And so some have asked, why not some other guys? Yuli Gurriel is one that everybody has been mentioning in our pod mentions as far as the YouTube video is concerned. The problem is he's 40 years of age and hasn't really played third since 2019. Braves don't have really anybody in the organization. Merrifield could, but then you got to bring somebody up to play second. Who are we going to do there? David Fletcher? Is Fletcher going to come up from Double-A, who right now is playing infield every other day, I guess you could say. However, they're trying to play him as a knuckleball pitcher and see if they can get some innings out of him. And again, that's at the Double-A level. So no David Fletcher. He's not coming up yet. Merrifield's going to stay at second because we're still waiting on Ozzie to get back. And again, as I mentioned, the only two that have been healthy, Olson and Ozuna. As a matter of fact, somebody has been missing from this lineup since opening day. Opening day, the Braves started with the lineup that we all thought would do well, that we thought would be one of the tops in Major League Baseball, not just the National League, not just the National League East. We thought that they would be the best in baseball, right behind the Dodgers, if not just ahead of the Dodgers, depending on how injuries went with the Dodgers. Well, we should have never said injuries to the Dodgers because it's done nothing but happen to the Braves. And the reason being is because I just mentioned there's not been one single lineup since opening day that was the same since opening day. So what we started the season with, even by game 2, had already switched, and it's been all downhill from there. Is the season done? I don't think that World Series hopes can be squandered at this point. That's just my opinion. Is there a chance to get into the playoffs via the wild card? Yes. Do the Phillies have a little snake bite against them as far as the regular season goes against the Braves? Yeah, but not playing against this lineup because look at who the Phillies are going to send to the mound. I mean, absolute studs. Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez. Sanchez coming off a fantastic outing, complete game, less than 100 pitches last time out. I know the Braves are sending Lopez, but it's his first time back as he's been in the minors doing rehab stints. Fried, of course, been up and down. We still don't know what we may get out of him. And then Schwellenbach, who's seemingly has been the best pitcher that Atlanta has had, just behind Chris Sale. Sale won't go to the mound against the Phillies. Won't see him until Washington. So Lopez, Fried, Schwellenbach, the next 3 games for the Braves. Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez for the Phillies, and those guys have been nothing but stellar. Urshela, welcome to Atlanta. Welcome to the Braves, as hopefully we'll get a little something out of you. It hasn't been great as far as he is concerned. And you got more to not to look forward to. As I said, Washington just after, then of course it's that interleague play, Minnesota. Then it's Philly again. So you're going to see Philly in the span of 2 weeks. If that's not enough to ask for, I don't know what is. Ursula's stats, however, I will say he does have a little potential. We'll see what comes about from that. In 2017, he batted 224. That picked up next year, 233. 314 has been his highest average back in 2019. Just under 300 in 2020, right around the mid twos in 2021, and then down to 285 in 2022. Last year, just under 300, batted 220 or 299 last year. However, we will see what he does as far as the Phillies are concerned, as far as the Braves are concerned in that stint. Usually at this point, I give you some sort of prediction when I'm on here with Lindsay, and I usually say 2 of 3. I have said sweep a couple of times. Even though I am being very negative right now, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that the Braves do take 1 of 3 from Philly this weekend. And I know a lot of you are going to be in the mentions going, what are you doing? You dreaming? Still got Ozuna in the lineup. You still have got Olsen in the lineup. We don't know about Jorge Soler as we record, or as I record this. We do not have any sort of lineup that has been placed in front of us. And I think a lot of that's got to do with they're going to get Ursula up and they're going to see where they're going to put him as far as that's concerned. Kelnick's got to come out of a slump at some point in time. We don't know what we're going to get out of Duvall. And then Michael Harris, the second, he's back in the lineup. He seems to be heating up. So if he stays healthy, we should be good. And at some point, Sean Murphy has got to come around. So between he and Travis d'Arnaud, hopefully we'll get something out of the catcher spot. Right now, which is tough to say you can do against the pitching staff that the Phillies are going to be bringing to Atlanta, you've got to out-hit them. And you got to have great pitching out of the pitchers. And the reason being is because you're just limping along, and it's more mental, in my opinion, right now than it is physical. The physical part's taking care of itself. They're all on the IL. They've all been on the IL. They're not coming off the IL. We got two guys that have not been hurt all year. So here's to me jinxing that for a little bit later on in this series or the next, that one of them will probably be sitting out before it's all said and done with. Matt Olson, as well as Marcell Ozuna, you guys have been the troopers. Stay in the lineup, please. You'd be the only two that would the entire season. And I'm not just talking about people in the field, but Ozzie being out, Acuna being out. Pitching staff has been depleted. As I just mentioned, Lopez is just going to be coming back. I still say, after all the negativity, 2 of 3 against the Phillies at home, and it's because they're at home. I think the team galvanizes itself, and who knows if we get some new light out of some of the guys that have not lived up to the performance that we had hoped coming into the year. It's all been brought to you by Plains Coffee. Go to plainscoffee.com, promo code Braves, get your 10% off. Do check a little bit later on, bravestoday.com. They've got a preview, plus lineups will be released. They'll finally have that up. Recap and takeaways as far as this evening is concerned. Going to be a busy 3 days with the Phillies in town and the Braves a chance to make up some ground, even as damaged as they are. I'm Ben Taylor for Braves Today and bravestoday.com.